Hi friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss another session of electric field and charges, that is Coulomb's law, right? So in the last lectures we have seen what is an electric charge, what are the properties of electric charge and the methods of charging, right? And we have done some problems based on that also. And now today we are focusing what is the force acting between two charges. Suppose you have a charge q1 and another charge q2, right? Then if there is a separation between them, that is r, then what is the force acting between the two charges, that we are going to analyze today. Alright, and according to this Coulomb's law, this force is directly proportional to product of these charges, right? That means if q1 and q2 are the charges, then this f is proportional to q1 q2. That means either you increase this q1 or this q2, this force will increase, right? So this charge is a factor that increases measure this force depth, right? So this charge increases, that means this force increases. All right, now as we know this, if the distance increases, what happens to this force? Obviously this will decrease, right? And this force that is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. All right, so that means this distance increases means this force will decrease. All right, so together we are able to write this equation as that is proportional to q1 q2 by r square. All right, so this proportionality we can remove by inserting a new constant, that is k q1 q2 by r square. All right, so this is the general expression for this force, and this k we can find this is a constant which depends on the medium, right? Suppose there is a medium between these two charges, we already know this presence of this medium will increase or decrease this force based on the nature of the medium that we are using here, right? So based on that, this constant is identified as, this constant we can write as, that is k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, right? Where epsilon is the permittivity of the medium, right? Permittivity of the medium, right? All right, permittivity of the medium. That means this medium permittivity is a factor. This epsilon is defined as some constant. Suppose the permittivity of free space. Suppose these charges are separated by a distance and there is no medium in between this q1 and q2. Such condition we can call it as this permittivity. Such mediums, if we consider their permittivity, its permittivity we can call it as epsilon 0, right? If there is no medium, and if you insert a medium, then the new permittivity will be epsilon. All right, this epsilon we can define as epsilon 0 into epsilon r, right? Epsilon 0 into epsilon r. What is this epsilon r? Epsilon r is the relative permittivity, or epsilon r is the relative permittivity or we may call it as dielectric constant. What is that? Dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. All right, this is very important. Each medium has a dielectric constant, that is the property of that medium. If you multiply, if you insert a medium between these two charges, and if you know this dielectric constant epsilon r, then if you multiply this with permittivity of free space, then this epsilon 0 epsilon r, that product represent the permittivity of this medium, all right? So you may write this as this permittivity, you can write as epsilon 0 epsilon r, and this force, this is k, this is k, and we may write this force as, from this expression k we can replace with this, that is f is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon for a medium epsilon q1 q2 by r square. Alright, q1 q2 by r square. Okay, now this epsilon and epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 epsilon r. Alright, so generally we are able to write the force between two electric charges, that is directly proportional to product of their charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. Alright, now we can see what is the direction of this force from this diagram. See, suppose you have two positive charges, right? Suppose you have two positive charges, right? One is plus q1 and other one is plus q2. Now let us define the force. See, this is positive charges. We already know from the properties of electric charges. Like charges repel, right? Like charges repel. So this q2 repels this q1 and q1 repels this q2. So the q2 repels this q1 in this direction, right? q2 repel this q1 in this direction and q1 repel this q2 in this direction. Alright? Alright, so this force that the force on this q1 due to q2, force on 1 due to q2, that means q2 repelling this q1, that we can, this is the direction F12, right? And similarly this 1 is repelling this 2, that means force on 2 due to 1, that we can represent as F21. Alright, now obviously you know these forces are in the opposite direction. Alright, that is, you may write this as F12 is equal to minus F21, right? Anyway, this force will be, its magnitude will be, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon, or we may write this as the constant. Before mentioning this, constant is equal to q1 q2 by r square. Alright, and in the case if both charges are opposite, if this is plus and this is negative, so here this F12 means this 2 attracts this 1. Alright, the force on 1 due to 2, what is 2 doing? 2 attracts this 1 towards it, right? And this, what is 1 doing? 1 attracts this 2, right? So this will be F12 direction, this is F21 direction. In this case also these forces are opposite, but its magnitude will be same, right? Alright, so that is Coulomb force. Now let us see what is this. So we already seen this F is equal to, so if two charges q1 and q2 separated by a distance r, right, then what is the force? If there is no medium, suppose the medium involved in this, that is between these two charges is, that is free space, there is no medium. So 1 by 4 pi, this free space, permittivity of free space is epsilon 0, that is q1 q2 by r square. This will be equal to F, right? So generally we can write this as F. Alright? Alright. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 by r square. Okay, now see this F12 we can represent as, see here this q1 and q2, right? So both are positive if I consider. Alright, now you can see this 2 repelling this 1, so this is the direction of F12 and this is the direction of F21. Alright, alright, that we have seen. Now you can see this F12 is directing from 2 to 1, right? F12, its direction is, that is from 2 to 1, second charge to first charge. That is why I am putting a unit vector, that is R21, that represent the direction of this force. Now what is F21? F21 is directing from this 1 to 2, right? F12 is in this direction, so that is 1 to 2. That's why I am putting a direction vector, that is R12 cap here. Now by vector notation, this R21 cap is equal to minus R12 cap. That means these forces are equal but opposite, because its magnitude is same, right? this direction only, this opposite, right? That is obviously, that is clear from this figure. All right, all right. Now this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, what is its value? That is 9 into 10 raised to 9. All right, 9 into 10 raised to 9. So we have seen f is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 by r square. So this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 we can write as, that is equal to fr square divided by q1 q2. Now this f unit is Newton and r square unit is meter square. This is q1 unit is coulomb, q2 unit that also coulomb, so coulomb square. So this will be unit of this Newton meter square by coulomb square. That is the unit of this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, right? And this value is find, that is the value is 9 into 10 raised to 9, and that value we got after substituting this permittivity of free space, that is equal to 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. And what is the unit of this epsilon 0? So if you reverse, this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. To get the unit of epsilon 0, you can take the reciprocal, because it's already 4 pi has no unit. So 1 by epsilon 0 unit is we know. So it's reciprocal, that is coulomb square divided by Newton meter square. You can take the reciprocal of this. Alright. So epsilon 0 value is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb square Newton meter square, and 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 value is 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. Alright. These values are very important when we comes to problems. Alright. Alright. So now we are able to derive the connection between these two forces. All right. So that is, we already know in medium, in free space, you know, that is f air, f free space, right? So f vacuum, right? That is best to represent. So f v is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 by r square. So in a medium, this changes to 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Instead of this permittivity of free space, we are using, in free space, in vacuum we are using the permittivity of free space here. And if it is medium, we will use this 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is the permittivity of the medium, right? q1 q2 by r square, right? Now if you divide this fv by fm, that is what you get, that is epsilon, right? Epsilon by epsilon 0. Now we already know this epsilon is epsilon 0 epsilon r divided by epsilon 0. So this will cancel. So fv is equal to epsilon r fm. That means, so this force in free space is equal to dielectric constant times the force in medium. That means if you have two charges that is separated by a distance r in free space, then you measure the force Fv. And now you are inserting a medium in between these two charges, between without changing this charge value and this distance of separation. You are just inserting a medium with a dielectric constant epsilon r. Then the new force that will be F medium. Now this without medium and this is with medium, and charges and all other parameters, the dimension, that is the distance between these two charges, that all you keep the same, right? Then you can write a relation, that is the force in vacuum, that is equal to epsilon r times Fm, right? Of course, you know, if there is no medium, there is a direct force between these two. So that means that force will be high. All right. All right. So we can write this relation. Okay. From that. All right. Now, so this epsilon by epsilon 0, that is epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 epsilon r. The formulas you keep on mind, and this value. Now we are going to discuss the forces between multiple charges, right? So we have seen the force between two charges, right? q1 and a q2. All right. All right. Now let us think about this multiple charges. So let us go to blackboard. See, suppose you have a charge q1 here, right? And we have a charge another q2, q3, So here three charges, like, so if I mention this direction, suppose I am considering all charges are positive. All right. Now, what you know about this force between 2 and 1? This 2 repels this 1. Force on 1 due to 2. Right? That is F12. Force on 1 due to 2. That is F12. We have already represented. Alright? That is this direction. Now, at the same time, this 3 also will make a force on this charge Q1. Then force on 1. That is in this direction. This Q3 repel this Q1, that is in this direction. Alright. So, of course, we may write this as F13. Right. Now, if two forces are like this, from this triangle law, we already know this will represent the resultant. Right. So, if I draw a line here, this also represent F13. So, from triangle law, the third side of this triangle, this is in the same direction, and this third side, that is in the opposite direction, will represent the resultant of this, that is F12 plus F13. Alright. So here you can clear, you have a particular charge Q1, right, and there is another two charges, and when you find the resultant force, that you got as F12 plus F13. That means if you have a number of charges, right, if you have number of charges, then the net force on a particular charge Q1, that is equal to sum of the forces that experienced by all other charges on it, right? So that means Q2 and Q3, that are the all other charges, I mean, right? If I consider other charges are Q2 and Q3, so if you add the forces by these two charges, that is F12 and F13, then you will get the net forces. So that is by definition. Alright. So we may write this as F. What is F12? So we may represent this as R, this distance as R, but I am representing the force direction as R21 cap, and this direction as R31 cap. So 3 to 1 is the direction, 2 to 1 is the direction. So let me write this equation as, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 divided by R square into, so let me write this as R21 cap, right, plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q3 divided by R square into R31 cap. Alright, R31 cap. And if you have number of charges like this, you may proceed like this. Alright. So the resultant force on a particular charge is equal to algebraic vector sum of the, so this is the vector sum. Alright, because we have applied the triangle law here. So algebraic vector sum of the force experienced by all other charges on it, right? So we have to add the all other forces acting on it, then we will get the resultant force. Alright. So that is the superposition principle. Alright. Now let us go to the main board. Right. So here I have shown the derivation. So this is F12 and this is F13 and this is F, and F is equal to F12 plus F13, and you may able to write this, okay, like this. Alright. So this is the resultant force acting on it. Alright. In the next section we will do some problems based on this Coulomb's law. Right. Then we will enter into electric field section. Okay. Thank you.